Hello, dansa. Patrick Mitsung Nixigasun, Makusagegen and Ochinia. Today we're going to be talking about moose teachings and things that I learned over the past week here, listening to climate change, climate action on YouTube, as well as Jeff Wastigikut. Hopefully I said that. He's a knowledge keeper, and the cool thing that when he started out his talk about, sharing his knowledge, he said that something really cool that I always hear in indigenous country is that, that knowledge does not belong to him. It belongs to the people. And so in the wintertime is where we share our stories, where we share our knowledge, kind of a good place to pass on knowledge. Because, in the summer, spring, fall, we're out there on the land. In the winter, we kind of come back and we're telling stories, and we're in our lodges, staying warm back in the day. And even now, where we're at, we're spending a lot of time at home. And it's a great time to share stories. And when Jeff said that, that the knowledge is not mine, it belongs to the people, it's a good time to sit down with elders and learn about stories and learn about laws and natural laws and different ways of doing things. And when Jeff talked about natural law, and I have the link below to the original video if you guys want to watch it, but he talked about how we have man-made laws in countries where you have to follow these laws. If you break the law, you go to jail. But with an indigenous world, an indigenous worldview, ways of thinking, we have things called natural laws, things that happen no matter what, like gravity. There's a law of gravity. If you jumped off a building, no matter what, you're gonna fall down because of the law of gravity. Right? And we have laws of physics like that. Indigenous, we have natural laws in different ways of a worldview, and like what good to win is everything is connected, and we understood these laws for since time immemorial. And science is starting to see that we are all connected through quantum physics. They see that we are all made of the same materials, that's within the stars, and our people we already understood that, we knew that. And with the Cree language, the Nehiawak, with any word that kind of ends with win, indicates that there's a natural law within that word, like Wagutawin we were just talking about, Wataskawin. It's something that you could take further, kind of a journey and to learn about what that natural law is and what that natural law means. So when we are passing on our stories, we call it Atau Gawina or Achau Gawina. We call it spiritual stories, basically not within myth or legend. Kind of a lot of times when indigenous people are telling their stories, it's classified as legends or myths. And with our kind of way of thinking, it's Achau Gawina or Atau Gawina, kind of our spiritual stories, our spiritual beliefs. And when we talk about the moose, there's a lot of teachings in the moose. Moose is a singular, and musawik or muswa, you're talking about more plural. And so with the moose, the closest translation, I thought this is very beautiful, that there is with the moose is forever, right? It's something that will and if you go into the creation stories of the moose, there was a treaty with the moose, right? But it's an animal that will provide for us forever. And when we say Nicha Moose, right, that moose is in there, it doesn't mean sweetheart. It means, like my partner that I'm gonna have forever. And so when you get married, you call that person Nichamus, that's my forever partner. And I just thought that was very beautiful. And the moose could teach us a lot of things. And when we look at the stars, you'll notice the Big Dipper during different seasons, it's pointed different ways, like that, right? And during the fall time, it's like this, with the kind of the cup of it open up like this, meaning it's time to harvest. It's time to go and hunt and do these things, harvest these four-legged animals, these larger animals, and so we could survive the winter time. And so when you look at the stars, it kind of gives you a navigation of what to do during those seasons, right? And in the winter, when the winter months are right now, like I said, it's that Ucha ugawina, that acha ugawina, ata ugawina. It's like that storytelling time. It's time to share knowledge, time to share stories, and that's where you would share your hunting stories and things that went on. And then with the moose, there's a couple cool features of the moose, although we can get into like the whole thing about the moose, how you would use every single part. There's a couple features that I want to share with you. One is the forehead. If you ever caught a bull moose and you put your hand on the forehead, you'll notice that there's a perfect handprint on there, and there's a lot of stories on there where you could put your hand on there and it fits on the head of a moose. That part of that story was kind of stopping that moose from before. There was stories that the moose wasn't very kind to humans, and it would come in and it would wreck lodges, it would knock down teepees, and it would be a real aggressive animal, and it would like almost try kill humans. And there was a really great warrior hunter, this is from Kevin Lewis, who passed on this story. But there was a real respected hunter who went out, and they sent them out to stop this moose. And part of that, he held onto the nose and that moose head to stop him. And that forever, that handprint was part of that moose head from stopping him and making a treaty that, hey, we're gonna respect each other, and as a law, we're gonna hunt you only during this part to provide for ourselves. But we're also gonna hang that beard up on a branch when we're hunting. If we happen to, to get a moose, we'd cut that beard off of a bull moose and we'd hang it up on a tree. And the story behind that was that when we hang that up, there's gonna be a descendant that's gonna come and replace that moose that we just caught, so that forever cycle happens. And so when we hang that up, we honor that moose, right? And that some other moose is gonna be born to be almost like a replacement, the descendant of that, so that cycle keeps going. So you'll notice on the animals as well, there's a hump on the animal on the back, and that comes to represent that the lodges that we have within our people, our sweat lodges, our whatever lodges, the Watsumu and the Powwow lodge, the Sundance lodge, right? All that kind of is a representation of that. And some bears, also the grizzly bears, right? They have that the buffalo hump has that, and all those animals that have that kind of represent that. And it's a part of our people, because we'll use the hides from the animals and a lot of animal parts as part of our regalia when we're dancing powwow. It's all connected, right? That Wagutuwin, everything is connected. And so it's just a transfer. I just want to give you that kind of thought process of how just one animal could give us a lot of teachings, and how we use that animal, and how we look at the stars to know when to hunt, and to look at the stars to know when to tell those stories that acha gawina, right? To tell that are passing on the knowledge, and that the knowledge is not mine, it belongs to the people, which is really cool way of thinking. And to give you kind of a path, a journey, that when any word in the Nehiyawak ends with that win, it indicates that there's some more to it. There's some more to that word that you could kind of take a journey on and learn. That Sagitawin, that Wagutawin, Wataskawin, all these different words that you hear. Ask, give some tobacco to an elder and say, what does that word mean, right? And we hope through our videos that we're able to share some of that knowledge with you guys, if it's appropriate, if we have that that permission to do so, through the right protocols, through the right ways. So I want to just give you some of that little foundational knowledge on the moose and what I've learned. I think it will help you out. And as a hunter that I got back to the land and I started hunting for the first time over the past few years, you start to respect the land even more and respect the animals a lot more when you're out there. and especially when you know the stories of some of the things. So with that, I want to say thank you so much, Nanaskoman, for watching this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, like, share, leave a comment, and so we could connect. And with that, we look forward to another teaching with you with foundational knowledge. We'll see you.